going on, world? How are y'all doing, man? We are here. It is another installment of the pod with no name. My name is Tully, and I'm here with my brother and my other brother, Prince. But he's still my brother, Prince. But now we here, yo, and yeah, man. How y'all doing? How y'all feeling, God?
I'm good, man. No complaints there. How are things with you?
I'm good. I don't know why I don't hear you. You gotta turn your mic on. It's on? I definitely don't hear you.
I think I just said something.
There it is. Yeah.
Are we back?
Yeah, we back.
Yeah. Oh,
Let me see.
Muted, dogs?
Nah, I ain't had you muted.
No respect. There's no respect.
Yeah, nah, I got that one muted over there.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you perfectly. All right, cool. Yo, what's good, guys? How y'all doing?
Chilling. How's everybody's week?
Yo, man, long week. I'm happy that it's over.
Y'all washing your hands?
Big facts. Yo, they had to have a thing at my job, right? Tell me why, like, we had like an all hands. Contractors don't go. Long story short, they were telling us like people don't like defecate and don't wash their hands.
Yeah, bro.
He was like, when he uses the urinal, he hits it with his elbow. And I was just like, yo, this shit is disgusting.
Yo, when I touch a door on my way out from the bathroom, I have a
napkin.
Yeah,
yep. Big facts. Hell yeah, that's crazy. And you work with kids, so you probably definitely exposed to the...
I've seen some of the nastiest things.
Yeah.
I've seen doodle on the floor, doodle on the wall, doodle on everywhere.
I seen doodle on the floor.
All right, so how did it get on the wall?
Facts.
Yo,
some kid smeared it.
You ask him. Next time you see, you ask him. But I've seen
that's why you gotta whoop a kid's ass sometimes. But we gonna
big facts. But yo, before we get started, I wanted to say that. Oh, thank you guys for the people that's here today. Yeah, clap it up for y'all. Yeah, she ain't clapping, nerd ass. All right, but yeah, thank y'all for being here. If you listening to this on the podcast directories, whether it be Spotify, Apple, Google, we want to say thank you. We appreciate it. Share it with your friends. You know, just help create that dialogue. And then if you're watching it on YouTube, please like, share, and subscribe. But yo, before we get started, we just wanted to send a quick RIP to Pop Smoke. You know what I mean? He was 20 years old, going too soon. That shit is whack, man.
Sad as hell, man. It's still hard to believe, and that's like weeks after Kobe too. So it was just like
a back-to-back situation.
Right.
And there was a rapper who died in December too. He was on the lean. I forgot his name.
Oh,
Juice WRLD.
Juice WRLD. Well,
yeah. But it was related to that, I think, right?
Well, he was in a plane and he had narcotics, and they said like, "Yo, the feds are gonna pick you up," and so he swallowed some pills and he overdosed.
Yeah. I did see that. What's crazy is this week I had like a suicide professional development, and they talked about it.
Really?
Yeah. That was like this thing for work.
R.I.P. Pop Smoke. They did the funeral this week.
Yeah,
they did the procession
driving him around
through
Brooklyn. That was dope.
Yeah. I mean, yo, his impact is crazy. Did you see how many people were out there?
Yo, they loved him. I saw tweets and on Instagram they was talking about he was bigger than Biggie and shit, which isn't true.
To this generation, he absolutely was, but
in a year. Well, I guess technically because Biggie only had like 2 years.
To those kids right now, they don't know Biggie.
That's a fact.
Biggie died in '97.
Yeah, 97.
Biggie had classics.
I'm saying to the kids, to the kids who live in Brooklyn right now, who do you think is bigger to them? To Pop Smoke's era.
Yo, like don't.
It's not disrespectful.
Christopher Walken is a classic. Welcome to the Party is a classic.
Yo,
neither one of those.
But they don't know Biggie. That's like you. Who's your favorite artist?
Cold World, the new Nat King.
That's like somebody saying you a clown for not saying it's not Cool G rap.
Right.
It's a different era.
No. So saying who my favorite is very different than being like, yo, he's bigger than.
But that's all they know though.
I said he's bigger to this generation. That's what I said.
All right. Let's hit this next hit, man. We're not gonna talk about like
I feel like I'm not saying nothing crazy.
Nah, you're not saying nothing crazy. Yo, R.I.P. Pop Smoke.
R.I.P. Pop Smoke.
Word, God.
Yeah. And it was also a big week because we had Super Tuesday. I don't know if you guys
I don't know
paid attention to that, but
he said, "Nah, I don't know."
It was like 14 states voted in the Democrat, primaries, period. And obviously it's a big deal because Democrats are trying to figure out who is gonna
be the nominee.
To be the nominee. And Joe Biden had a good night.
Right.
You know, Joe Biden.
You a Biden supporter?
That's what's up. Got a Biden supporter in the house.
Word.
Yo, everybody thought he was dead. Everybody thought his campaign was you know what I mean, over, but South Carolina happened like the Saturday before Super Tuesday.
Right.
And yo, shout out to the black folk.
Right.
I mean, if Joe Budden, I was about to say
Joe Budden.
if Joe Biden presidency would be interesting. But
What happened? Okay, shit, Blue Hat University.
Well, Biden went to Syracuse for law
did.
school.
He
Oh, I
did.
didn't know that.
Yeah. He went to Syracuse
Yeah.
for law school. So, all right, that's what's up. So, shout out to Biden.
His picture is like up in Maxwell or something like that.
like,
too. He's a big
he's
deal.
up there. He's up there.
Yeah.
I mean, he ended up being vice president, a 30-year senator. So, but yeah, the black vote, everybody's saying, is the reason why he had such the night he had. Because
Big
South
facts.
Carolina, I mean, obviously there's a huge black voting base there, and then if you look at like Virginia, North Carolina,
It all like just proceeded after that. So
like,
that
'cause-
was like the ripple.
right? Because
Yeah.
like as the electorate got less white, you know
Right.
what I mean, he started doing better. So, yo, people gotta start giving black people more respect,
Facts.
especially when we talk about politics. Because like Democrats right now, they are not winning without the black vote.
Yeah. But the way the media portrayed it, like, so a while back, they were saying how basically, like, because you know how the Hispanic population is rising at a faster rate than the black. So it was almost saying like how like our vote don't necessarily matter because
matters.
exactly.
Yeah,
and so it's like, yo, this is a perfect example of why it does matter. You know what I
Doesn't
mean?
matter because like Democrats are like, they're at a crossroads. They're trying to figure out, should we like appeal to the white people who left the Democrats and voted for Trump,
Yeah.
or should we like go after
Continue
black
the same
Right.
way. I know we spoke a little bit. I mean, maybe it's a little. I know we spoke a little about Bloomberg. You know what I mean? And how he was like
Grand
his whole
opening,
campaign
grand close.
Yo, he spent
was built on-
548 million.
Yo, which is crazy. I saw something online that was saying like if he would have just gave $1 million to each American, like he would have still had bread left over.
Still have bread.
It's like, yo, come on, bro. Like,
Well,
I
I
don't know.
mean, nah, he wouldn't have no bread. Like
500,
$1 million to each American is like 300 million Americans.
300 million, but he had 500 million that he spent. So wouldn't it be 200 million left over? Is my math off?
Yeah, your math is off, bro.
Oh, okay, whatever. It's
Yeah,
fine.
but like he would have. But if he would,
300 to, oh shit, yeah, I'm bugging.
he would need a lot of money.
Right, but he got bread
but he
though.
has bread.
All right, well,
He
let's
could've
just say
gave
this:
everybody like
if he
$1.
would have gave everybody 50,000, maybe.
Yeah.
Yo, you
But-
coughing? You got that Rona, bro?
You got the Rona?
Yeah, but I'm good.
He coughed directly into the mic.
I know.
did.
That's his mic though. That's his mic, so it's
Put my
cool.
hand up.
Yeah,
Come
as
on,
a-
dogs. Do not do this shit situation. Not doing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out to and it's also Women's History Month. No, not
Or-
Women's History Month.
It
Women's
is.
Month. It's Women's Month.
Women's
Is it
Women's Month.
History or
Women's
it's
History.
Women's Month. Yeah.
Oh, we
Yeah,
probably
so
get
shout
it.
out to
Women's year.
Women's Year. Ooh.
now y'all get a month just like black people.
Right, we got the mic muted, so they not being heard. Nah, I'm unmuted. I'm just kidding. But yeah,
But shout
nah.
out to all the dope and shout out to the black women. Like let's highlight them. Let's
Yeah,
highlight them.
I went to an event last week, and it was like at the Anacostia Art Center, and it was called like Black to the Future or something. Basically, like it was similar to Morgan's event, and it was just a bunch of like you could buy with different things, stuff like that. And so, long story short, like I just thought it was beautiful that I just seen so many different black entrepreneurs out there.
Right.
And I saw a lot of like women-owned business. There was also some brothers there, but I seen a lot of like women-owned business. I was like, damn, this is powerful, bro.
So like staying on the presidential stuff.
Yeah.
How do y'all feel about the fact that now that Elizabeth Warren is out, there's no women currently as like a lead contender? We still got one woman left, but she's not gonna win.
Yeah,
Tulsi
she's not
Gabbard.
gonna win, yeah.
So what do y'all think about the fact that we're back to 2 old white dudes?
Yo, it bothers me that like this country is so misogynistic, but I'm not surprised.
Right.
And so like
That's the key. We don't be surprised.
right.
But I think that's the problem. I think the problem is like we've become like, I guess like
Numb to it.
numb, yeah,
Right.
to like just regular racism is normal. Like what? You know what I mean? Like ain't nobody, there's no person of color or a woman on the ballot. Like, well, you know, white men run the world. That's
Right.
cool.
But
Stand up.
But the
Vote
argument,
one.
I agree with you. But the argument I would make is, isn't that the norm though? Like just because we had Obama in 08, in 2012, and we
Yeah.
had Hillary in 16, that doesn't mean that that's what we should expect.
But I
Right,
think
right.
that I don't think that's what you expect. But I think that goes to the point of like the Pop Smoke thing. Like if this is all a kid has ever seen, like that is the norm. Like this is what's not
Yeah.
Yeah.
what
That's
it's supposed to
damn,
be.
that was a good
Yeah,
tieback.
that's a great point.
Yeah, hell yeah.
a
Fuck.
fact.
But it is whack though that has to be that way. But
We're gonna get one soon, though. I think there'll be a female president.
You think so?
Yeah, it has to be. Like,
I don't know, bro.
We're trending in that direction. We've had.
I just feel like it's too. I'm just keeping it a buck. Like I feel like it's so misogynistic. Like they will not allow that.
It's even more than misogyny.
I know that's pessimistic.
There's a lot of white women who don't support white female candidates. They support Trump.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's a little bit less than it was before, but yeah, like it's more than just misogyny.
Yeah.
It's like abortion, all that shit.
Yeah. Facts.
Anyway,
not spooky.
So
man.
Let's go. Main topic of this episode, we talking about discipline. So to kick it off, just wanted to like read out the definition of discipline, and it's a noun: control gained by enforcing obedience or order, and then it can be used as a verb as well, and it's to train or develop by instruction, especially in self-control.
I like the fact that we have two different definitions. Right. I do feel like they're saying two different things too.
They definitely are. Like,
because like the noun, it's saying like control gained. Like it's almost like a.
It's like you taking it.
Take it, yeah.
Yeah,
but the B, it highlights the fact that you're developing.
Right.
So I guess the question is, what was your experience like with discipline?
So like even like if you talk like the three different pieces of discipline, or like the three different types of like parental discipline, I guess would roll into like the authoritative, the authoritarian, and like a permissive type joint. Like the authoritative is more like the sets expectations, like kind of like what people I guess expect from like a mom, or what you expect from like your teacher. You know what I mean? More so, like your authoritarian is definitely like your like Nazi, I guess, like kind of like setting the rules, kind of like
if you don't do this, this will be the problem.
Yes. And then you have like your permissive, which is kind of like just letting everything like rock, like word, like you ain't do no homework. That's
make
cool.
it up.
Yeah, like we're gonna be good later. But I feel like I grew up with more of like an authoritative. Like I feel like my mom was definitely like the disciplinarian, more so. Like it was definitely like that. Like I'm gonna jump on you, and then we're gonna go get some ice cream later. Like both of those what happened.
Right. It was like a carrot and a stick, like punish you, but also like
can't hear you.
I don't know if that's like carrot and stick. I don't know if that's more so like carrot and stick. Like when I think carrot and stick, I think like, yo, if you do this, then we'll do this.
Right.
You understand? Like if you, on the front end. When I think of like an authoritative parent, it's like, you did what?
Right.
Like let me wash you real quick. Like, are you good? Like I ain't mean to kill you. Let's go get some ice cream to take care of that.
It's like it's almost like good cop, bad cop. For me, like I just feel like I was like bugging because I just had so many different types of discipline growing up. So like my mom, I would say that she was authoritative, but then my brother was authoritarian. Like he used to literally say, "I'm gonna tell you like a nigga never told me," and then if whatever came after, it's some sort of punishment, pain, whatever it was. So like I had like a bunch, and then permissive is the teacher at school that just give no fucks. It's just like whatever. So I had like all three growing up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was
I had
wild.
Authoritarian because I feel like my mom always wanted to make sure that I realized like, yo, I'm not your friend.
Damn.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like there was a time, like she was obviously like a great mom to me.
Yeah.
But when she was disciplining me, it was just like, yo, like these are the rules, you broke it.
Yeah.
And when I got a little bit older, she would like bring in people to whoop my ass for me. Like,
wow.
You know what I mean?
That's
so,
some like gangster shit.
I mean, yo, but I come from an African household.
Yeah.
And discipline is like the cornerstone. Like, yo, ain't no talking. Ain't no talking. Like, I remember being a little kid, like, and my uncle would be like, yo, hold your hand out with the little comb joint. You know what I'm saying? Like,
okay.
Yo,
See, they used to use the extension cords and shit.
Right. So, so I'm glad you said that because
abuse.
Because I think the definition is a definition, but there's a line, and obviously that's not present. We don't see that line when we read the definition. So, what do you think that line is?
I think that line, it depends like per person. Like each kid is different, so you got to figure out how you need to like interact with them. For me, I personally feel like if you would have just been because I'll be breaking rules.
So
we keep it a buck.
Let me back up because I think this is important to ask before we even get into that.
Yeah.
Do you believe that? Would you discipline your kids? Like, do you believe in discipline?
I believe in discipline, but I probably wouldn't physically discipline my kids.
Okay.
What
about you?
Yeah, so that's what I was going to say. Like, I think what discipline looks like is very different in every household, right? Yeah. And whether it's like it's even from like a school standpoint, like teaching every day, like you got to discipline kids every day at work.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like there has to be some form of discipline. It doesn't necessarily mean like
It's
you put
formal
hands
when
on
you
a
turn
kid.
it
Like if even in some cases, I even think like back to my parents, like if they had to put hands on me, that means it was something bad.
Right.
Like you did something that like you can't, like there's no reason that this have happened.
Okay.
Right? Like I wasn't like beat for like bad grades. You know what I mean? Like you're not beat for like spilling juice.
Right.
Like you're beat for like this is what happened. Like you knew right from wrong going into this.
Yeah.
Like there was
you felt
punishment.
like all your beatings were like
justified.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, some of my shit was definitely not justified. Like, but I do believe that authoritarian worked for me.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I personally will not
Do that
give
to your
that.
kid.
Nah, no
But
way.
like going back to justified though, do you like? Are you saying that there was no other way to discipline you?
I think I was disciplined other ways on the front end. I'm just saying, like,
I'm
in
talking
extreme
specifically
cases.
In those extreme cases, do you
Would a conversation work?
Yeah.
I guess I don't know. I don't know if a conversation would have worked or not worked, but I would say no, only because I think like if this is what happened and somebody talked to me, I'd be like, well, maybe I'll do it again. You know what I mean? Like, imagine if, like, for example, like you, not saying this happened. Let's say like you pee in a cup and you take that upstairs,
Right.
and you give this to, you give this to like other people to drink. Right?
Yeah,
Like,
that's a perfect storm for an asshole.
like, yo, like, I feel like does that turn into, like, if somebody starts to talk to you afterwards, like, yo, don't do that anymore. Like, that's not good. And I guess it's my voice that doesn't make it sound like it wasn't like as effective.
that shit is, yeah.
But like, I think somebody has to put hands on you at that point. Like, yo.
But here's what I would say, because I feel like all right, like in politics, they say that war is like a failure of diplomacy. Like you couldn't argue or you couldn't
Negotiate.
You couldn't negotiate.
Right.
So it's a failure. Mm-hmm. So don't you think that saying that when you put your hands on a child, you failed in terms of disciplining them?
Because I firmly believed growing up that some people just learn with physicality. Like, say what you want about the hood, all of that shit. Like, not y'all, but like I always hear like bad things. Like, oh, the hood. I feel like there was like an unwritten law. And certain things, like if you violated, then you got dealt with. And I don't know if that really would translate to today, 2020, but back then it definitely made sense.
But to me, I hear you, and I think that's true. That's the mindset. But don't you feel like if it worked, if discipline really worked, like people wouldn't be crazy, like people wouldn't be doing all this.
But I think that's abuse. I think you've now crossed that line, like discipline, and I think we're only talking about discipline in terms of like putting hands on somebody, right? Like a really good friend of mine believes that there should be no more prison. There should be no more jail, right? And the reason that he would say this or express this is because he feels like before somebody goes to the point of killing someone, before somebody goes to the point of, being so extreme in any capacity, whether it be drugs, whatever it is, like there should have been counseling, and somebody should have talked this kid off the ledge. Like, people aren't born killers. Yeah. Like somebody made that, right? So, and I think if there had been, like, I guess in this case, proper discipline.
That's what I'm saying. It's a failure of.
But I disagree, because what about the kids that are just like bad? So hold your question. We're gonna save it to the end. Yeah, we're gonna have like a 10-minute block or so to where we discuss different stuff. But yeah, like I disagree. I just feel like there's some people that are just, that physicality definitely works. That's what it is, you know what I mean? But
I think that's a slippery slope argument.
It is a slippery slope. I got a friend, like, homie beat his nephew up, and so he punched his nephew in the stomach for doing some dickhead shit, and his nephew was crying in the corner. So he went over to his nephew. I'm not gonna say his name, but he was just like, yeah, let's say his name is Darnell. He was like, hey Darnell, like, why are you crying? And he was like, oh, Uncle Andrew, I want to be stronger. And he was like, what? You want to be stronger? Why do you want to be? What are you talking about? He was like, I want to be stronger so I can hurt people. That's where physicality went wrong. With him, you could have approached it differently. But with someone else, maybe if you didn't rough him up, you know what I mean?
Do you ever remember your first ass whooping?
I got a lot.
I remember my first.
I got a lot.
And the first one I ever got, my mom cried after she whooped me.
Damn.
Like, she cried.
That is
So
wild.
I knew pretty early that getting your ass whooped isn't great.
Yeah, nah.
It's not good.
It's not a good look. But I don't know. Like going back to what you said, like because I feel like my mom, my grandmother had the same story because Africans always have these stories to get a point across.
Yeah.
And she was telling me how like there's this story that kids learn in Ghana where this one kid, he was bad as hell.
Yeah.
But the mom always made excuses for him. Not my baby. And I'm sure y'all deal with this as teachers.
Oh,
where
hell
you
yeah.
where you got parents who are like, my baby didn't do nothing wrong.
Right, and that kid is a demon.
Right.
Like-
And so in the story, the kid ended up doing some wild shit, like killing somebody, and the mom was in court crying, and the kid was like, come here, mom. And I don't know, I don't think this really happened, but like the kid bit the mom's ear off.
He a savage.
Bit the mom's ear off, and the lesson of the story is like, you never disciplined me. You never
Yeah.
told me what was right and wrong. You made excuses for me.
Right.
It's a failure of, and I don't think it's because he got his ass whooped or he didn't get his ass whooped. It's because there was no parenting. It was a failure. So I think there are better ways to discipline your kid. I say all that to say that.
Definitely.
There are better ways to do it.
Yeah, definitely.
Because there are kids who get their ass whooped who still end up booming shit in the streets.
That's a fact. Or kids who don't, and vice versa.
And vice versa.
Facts,
Do you
facts.
think it's like a generational thing?
Yes.
Like, do you think like kids today, like looking at things very differently than the way that you grew up or myself grew up? Or
I think it's a generational thing from a parenting perspective.
Yeah.
I think parents, like my mom, she was raised a certain way.
Right.
And that's how she carried it over. She never had conversations like this that
Yeah.
we're having now. Like, nah, actually, there's better ways to do this.
Yeah, nah. For me, same way. It was like, yo, you fuck up, physicality. But now I feel like ain't no parents. Hopefully, ain't no parent. Well, no, I see people beat their kids all the time. But like, I feel like more informed individuals will second guess putting their hands on their kids. And on top of that, you have like CBS, not CBS. What is it? The thing that come and gets kids?
Child protection
child
services.
CPS, protection,
yeah.
CP. Yeah. So we have all of these different things that are almost like protecting the child. So that's another slippery slope too.
What about like the power trip involved in disciplining your kid? Like,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, low key, especially one of the definitions we read, you could argue that it's really just like you flexing on your kid, like, yo, like you
Yeah.
don't respect me.
Right.
Like, nah, like you ain't disrespecting me like that. It might not even be warranted.
Yeah. No, I've seen parents have like short
Fuses.
Yeah, short fuses with kids.
Yeah.
And the kid is just running and then boom, the mom snuffed the kid. And then it's like, yo, like literally everybody, like there's killers in this house. And they're like, yo, what are you doing? And she's like, nah, he gonna know. And it's just like, yo, that's unnecessary. You know what I mean? Like it's wild unnecessary. But
So, but having said all that, I don't think I was abused. It's just a style that I wouldn't do.
what's the definition of abuse? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, yeah.
We can look it up.
no, we won't mess with that too much.
You don't
man.
want to?
Like,
Yeah, that'd probably take us down a rabbit hole. Good call.
Yeah, because like, I mean, but it's just, I mean,
Yeah.
there's a line though.
I think
I don't know if
sometimes
we've
it's-
established the line. Should
So
we
like
establish the
even
line?
no, I mean like even at school, right? Like if as a teacher, if you feel like a kid is being abused, right? Like there are different kinds of abuse, but physical specifically is what we talking about here when it comes to discipline. If there are no marks on a kid, if there are no like strangle marks,
There's emotional marks though.
Yeah.
so emotional is not what we hitting on. We talking about beating your kid,
Right.
Right? Like if there is no physical anything on a kid, like the parent goes home, the kid goes back, like there's nothing said. Like you got to leave a mark in order for it to be considered abuse.
That is okay.
If my kid does get hit, it's probably just gonna be the mom hitting him, like or her.
Yeah,
Like,
let the mom.
My pops couldn't. Like my pops, like I said, my pops worked UPS. My dad was like 6'2" and was lifting 50-pound boxes per arm.
Yeah.
Like we were 30 pounds soaking wet. Like if he ever,
Yeah.
we would break.
That's a problem.
We would break.
But now, go ahead. Okay.
I was just gonna ask: is that a deal breaker for y'all? Like, if your partner has a certain view on discipline, I mean, it has to be a conversation.
It definitely has to be a conversation. I don't think a couple can coexist if they have
Right.
two different
different
two
styles.
far, because
I have a question. Like, do you before you are? Maybe this is a little bit like. I think it's a little funny, but like before you are like intimate with a woman and you decide not to put on protection, do you ever feel like, yo, like if something slips up, you're gonna have to talk with this woman about like
I mean,
how you raising this kid? Like, do you ever think about that?
probably.
Like,
Yeah, you gotta have that combo.
but do you ever think about that like before it's going down?
no.
Nah.
Of course not.
Or
Zero.
you be
Never.
like, nah, it doesn't matter.
Nah, pull-out game strong, dog. What you talking about?
I mean, but it's a conversation. Though. It's a
Yo,
conversation.
99.8 for the field, bro.
That's a very strong pull-out game.
Yo, pull-out game strong.
98.8. Yo, what's up?
When that thing tingles, it's done.
But nah, so we was also...
We
was talking about like generational shit too. I think another thing that's cool too is now you really don't even have to really like beat your kids. You can literally just like take their stuff away.
I thought about that, but I don't think it would have worked for me though.
Really?
Like I think about the thing I loved most when I was growing up that my mom could.
My Game Boy, and then when I got
For me,
the
it
Game
was
Boy
like
Color.
sneakers. Like if she would have took my sneakers away, sure. But I bought sneakers. She bought sneakers for me too infrequently enough for that to matter. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was like Christmas, Easter. It got to be something like that.
My
hurts.
worst punishment, I remember I was on punishment, and I couldn't go outside and stuff like that. And it was a block party, and the 2-week window was like the block party coincided, and I had to watch my friends play, and I couldn't play with nothing in the crib. That was way worse than any beating I've ever received. So I think, especially now with how cool the technology is,
Beatings were pretty bad. Like,
after a while you get stronger. Like it got to the point.
I think that's because you got too many, bro.
Yeah, and then
big facts.
And then when I got
and
stronger,
now,
my mom called. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh, I
Let's call your uncle.
Yeah, let's call your uncle.
10 minutes.
Yeah,
yo.
Like, you a little strong.
So, in regards to like rewards and shit. So we talk about discipline. Let's talk about rewards. Like, do you think that like kids should be rewarded for getting like good grades and shit before we go to break?
Yes. Not necessarily. Not necessarily.
Or
like it's good to do.
I think it builds some sort of like, you know, like and then it's like, oh, I do good, I get good things. You know what I mean? Because it could create a defeatist mentality. Like I remember my parents was like, yo, we'll give you $5 for every A you get. I brought home 6 of them things. I ain't get no $30 at all. Okay. You know what I mean? And I was just like, yo.
Do you think it's more effective to say I'll give you money for an A or I'm whooping your ass for an F?
Yo, like I said, you beat me a lot. After a while, I'm just like, I'm going to cry, but I'm like, fuck that shit. So you know what I mean?
Yeah,
hell yeah. Better. Going back to the words of affirmation shit.
I mean,
like,
do you go to work without your paycheck?
Huh?
Do you go to work without your paycheck?
I do.
Like, I think like to say you're going to pay a kid for an A, I think is pretty close to like paying your like going to work for your paycheck.
Yeah, when you salary,
so like do you?
But when you salary, then you got to work overtime. You ain't getting that. Ain't no reward. But you got to do it.
But
and you're given recognition at work all the time.
Yeah.
They got teachers of the year. They got, you know what I mean, whatever. There's rewards for shit like that.
She was like, nah. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't think so. But yeah, nah. I don't think I want to. Because then it's like, if I don't give you anything, then you're not gonna try. Like you need self motivation. But how do you develop that? But I'm not a parent, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a parent, so I don't know either. But I do like when I do have a kid. You know what I mean? Like I would like to think that like I'd like to motivate my kid to do things like outside of school, right? Like school does not, like if you only are successful because of the things you learned in school, you're not gonna make it.
Right.
Like you're gonna have to learn something outside of your norm in order for you to be successful, whatever. Like whatever the dream job is, whatever the goal is, whatever the aspirations are, like what are you looking at in that sense?
Yeah. So yeah, that's a good ass point. But I think on that note, let's take a quick break and then we'll come back and talk about should like boys and girls be disciplined differently. All right. I bet. One. Okay. We are back. So before we took our break, we just wanted to we were trying to figure out whether or not should boys or girls be disciplined differently. So what do y'all think?
Yes. I mean, as far as like physically, sure. Like if you're gonna talk about like physical, like the specific hitting, I think
verbal's more like it hurts more. Like verbal shit, that's like everlasting. Pain goes away.
That's fine. Yeah,
so we can talk about both.
I feel like even like this is my favorite definition, I guess, of discipline is like to train or develop by instruction, especially in self-control. And if that's the definition of discipline, no, I don't want my kids disciplined differently. Like I feel like I need them to have the same lessons. Like I feel like the same way the police pull you over and you need to be able to chill is the same way I need you know, my daughter to be pulled over and she need to be able to chill the same way. Like I was taught, like, whatever they say, you do.
Right.
Like, if the police tell you get out and dance, you get out and dance.
I mean, no. I agree with that. You teach them the same lessons, but do you, like, are you gonna put your hands on your daughter the same way you would on your son?
Yeah, that's what really saying. Or will you treat your son? Hold on, let it go. Would you treat your son the same way you discipline your daughter? You got something?
But I can't. So I don't want to beat. I wouldn't want to beat.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Like, yo, because you kept screaming, let it go. And I was like,
Because it was falling.
yeah, but I can't, like, I was.
Because you always grabbing it. The purpose of this joint is to just hold it.
Yeah, to say space,
yo,
brother.
why you always touching me, bro? See, yo, we about to put up a touch-o-meter. Every time he rub our trapezoids, these niggas are freaks.
Stop making, you making it weird.
You making it weird.
You're making it weird.
All right, go ahead.
So do I want to beat, like, my daughter? Nah, I wouldn't want to beat the daughter, but I mean.
I'm gonna try my best to discipline both kids the same, but I just think that depending on, like, if the male gets a little bit more unruly, I don't want to ever punch my kids, but maybe a little shake up. I would never do that to a girl.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Well, all right. So we talking about discipline. Like,
Yeah.
let's say your daughter brings home a guy, like, and you catch her, versus
What she was doing, it depends.
the same thing.
The absolute worst.
The same thing that your son was doing.
Nasty. All right.
So in those two scenarios, do you dap up your son and discipline your daughter, or do they get the same punishment?
Whew,
I say they get the same. Like, I don't listen. I'm the only one getting busy here. Like, I pay for this.
I don't know.
Like, ain't no reason
you
for
say
you to
that,
get busy here.
but you want to be proud of your son.
Like, if your son had a bad joint.
Man, listen.
Really?
Then go to her house. Why y'all banging under my roof? I pay for these.
Would you say that to your
That's
daughter?
my bed.
Would you say that to your daughter?
Yeah,
go to his house.
Right. And that's where it comes in. It's like, it's tough.
You wouldn't say that.
Because as much as you want it to be equal, you're like, you know what I mean?
I would tell my kids, wait for God.
Okay.
They're just like double standards.
It's huge double standards.
And that spills into discipline.
Yeah.
I mean, what did Kevin Gates even say?
I'm gonna discipline my kids so that the police don't have to.
Right. Which,
and he's talking about his son in that case, right?
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
what do you think about that? Like,
I just feel like, I hear you, but once again, I'm standing on it. Like, I can't flip flop with this. Like, I've seen what happens when you beat kids.
Yeah.
I think I was, like, I don't want to say I was one of the lucky ones. I like the way I was brought up, but I don't think that that's a recipe for success. I think physicality with children and all of that stuff is unnecessary, and you just got to find other ways, other alternatives.
right.
Yeah.
And I think it assumes a premise like, oh, you're supposed to fear cops too, which, I mean, I don't like that.
Yo, when the lights are on behind you, do you get that fear? I don't know how to explain fear, but it's like it's a sharp feeling in my chest. So
Even when you're not doing nothing.
Facts. So to combat that, I know it's dumb. I think I've said this to y'all before, like off mic. I was like, yo, when I see cop cars, I literally be like, you don't exist. And that's the one way that I'm mentally able to just be like, yo,
That's
like,
why he drives like that.
I didn't want to say that. I did not want to say that.
That's why I drive like what?
You know you drive crazy, bro.
He was driving crazy the last time.
No.
Nah.
I remember
I
when
can
we.
vouch that Z's does not drive
No.
crazy.
Z's definitely drives crazy. He drove crazy
Dude
one time.
observes every law ever.
No.
We was in the back saying, yo, he's wilding. I was in the back. You was in the passenger seat.
When was this?
I forgot where
It
we
was
was
recent?
going.
No.
Fairly.
Nah,
but
he's
it's-
talking about a one time at band camp.
Yeah, like
What I'm
it's
saying,
rare
like,
though.
yo,
It's rare.
nah,
You
dude.
be bugging though.
You wildin'.
You be- and I know why now, because cops don't
Cops don't exist.
But yo, that should be working, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why that joke's
I don't know, God. But yeah, what Kevin Gates said, I
just
disagree with
I
that
just
shit.
remember like the police pulling us over, like me and my sister in the car. And I don't even remember where we're going. We're right on 50, actually. Like the police pull us over. Like you said, the light is flashing in the car. Everybody's heart is pounding.
Yeah.
Like the cop doesn't even come because we're on a throughway. So the cop doesn't even come to like my side.
yeah.
Comes to my sister's window. And he was just like, turn your lights on. And we were like, okay. And he was like, yo, like, yeah, okay. Like y'all are all right. Like you don't need to be so nervous. And we're still like, okay. You know what I mean? Like, so like the point that you're talking about, like the fear of like a cop even coming to the window is so scary.
Yeah, it is scary.
It's so scary. Right. And like you dance, like if whatever they say do, like hands on the steering wheel.
Yeah.
I always feel like a cop could see into the car. Like the light is helping the cop see literally into the car before they get there. So if it looks like, I feel like I don't even want to look like I did nothing.
Yeah.
Like don't even look like you took a seatbelt off.
Wheel.
Don't look like you turned the radio down. Like just look like you were driving still. Like
right.
I hate that we even gotta like be like
that shit is trash.
But do you think you survived those situations because of the way you were disciplined? Like you were taught like be shook of cops?
So don't use the word shook, but I feel like I was definitely taught to like respect authority.
Right.
Like
and as a survival tip, right?
As a survival tip, like you respect authority. Like don't act crazy.
See,
but I think I was taught
niggas,
the same way as you treat a teacher the same, or you treat like your custodian or your principal, like you treat like that same respect that is given to authority. It's an adult figure.
Yeah.
It's not just like he's a cop.
Yeah. I feel you.
I mean, I was taught the same way. Like respect the cop. If they say jump, you say how high.
See, I guess I was taught that, but I definitely don't. I'm like, yo.
And that's a generational thing, I think, also. Because like, isn't this generation more like know your rights and
yes,
right, and that's the type of tip I'm on. I'm like, nah.
Even
my glove compartment is locked, so is the trunk in the back.
Why are you doing this?
My glove compartment is locked, so is the trunk in the back, and I know my rights. So you need a lawyer for that.
Yeah.
You be like, yes, sir.
Even today, if I told her like, yo, I got pulled over, my mom. If I told her I said anything cross to a cop, she would get tight.
Oh shit.
Like, what?
See, I don't disrespect them, but I just be like,
it's not even disrespect.
Yeah.
It's literally like not saying yes sir, no sir type shit.
Oh, okay.
Like, it's like it's real. Like,
it's crazy. So, getting back to the disciplining thing, older versus younger. What's your like? Should you discipline an older kid differently than like? Let's get off the topic of gender and stuff and go to like
versus younger.
Age.
That's a good question. I think when you're younger, the physical aspect should be a little bit more muted. Like it shouldn't be like an ass whooping for a kid. My argument is that I'm gonna try not to do it to whether you're old or young.
Yeah,
that's my argument. But yeah, definitely if I was to choose between what I do to an older versus a younger child, I would discipline my older child a little bit more than I would my younger child.
Yeah. I feel like I want to lead. Oh, my bad, God.
No, go ahead. Brother.
Quick sentence. I feel like I want to lead with like dissatisfaction of my younger kid.
What do you mean by that?
Since they're sponges, like growing up, like they just soak in everything. I feel like if you hit a kid so much, they're gonna learn that violence is like the way.
Yo, I agree with that.
You know what I mean? So
I think that's the
I'll
worst
lead.
Part of
I'll try to lead. Like when I interact, I do J in a day. I'm a teacher for a day. That's it. One time a year.
Yeah.
I'm not a teacher like you. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. But when the kids was acting up in the class, like I'm not yelling at them. I'm trying to talk to them. I literally like squat down to their level and shit like that. And hopefully that's how I try to lead. Big facts.
You would get eaten up as a teacher.
So tell us about how you discipline your kids.
Yeah, let it. And then if it get to the point, and if it's a boy, and he doing some little, I'll be like, yo, you a man? Shake my hand like a man. And then I'll probably grab his hand and
what do you do? Because I feel like you have your style.
So I would say like actually like in the reverse of what y'all are saying, like I would definitely like beat my kid young and talk later. You know what I'm saying? Like I would definitely absolutely like there's no way you like these the 8th grade boys walking in my room, like we the same size.
But I feel like the trauma
fear's gotta be put before you hit. Fear's gotta be in before we the same size.
But you just talk about like what the cops and the fear, the negativity that comes from that
what
fear.
You want?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want my kids to fear me, man.
I want a little bit of fear. I do want respect, right?
I don't want no young kid to fear me.
But
me neither.
No. These jokers gotta fear me. Nah, they gotta fear me.
That's in the context of teaching, maybe. Do you want your kids to fear you? Like you're
both.
Yo,
both.
I used to walk. Save the question. We're sorry.
I want
like
both.
I used to walk around like on eggshells when my brother was around because I feared my brother. The day I fought my brother, all that fear was lost. And it's over.
What I'm telling you is that sounds like an abusive state, not just disciplining your kid.
It could have been abusive, that's fine. But who's to say that once that kid that feared you gets a little bit bigger, and he no longer fears you, now he's going to wash you?
Nah. And the reason he shouldn't wash me or is not gonna wash me is because one, like there's been a relationship, but like that's what comes with an authoritative parent or an authoritative teacher is there's a respect put in line along with that whooping. Okay. There's a respect put in line along with what's happening. So you saying
you going with authoritative versus authoritarian. Yeah. That's what you're saying.
Like you're gonna have the affectionate part included.
Okay.
Yeah.
And see, to me, I never seen that. So for me, I'm like, you being mean to me. Oh, now you trying to be nice. That's fake. Like, it ain't real.
I just think the potential for trauma in a child is way higher when they're younger. So that's when I would be more like careful about what I do.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying.
I feel like like I said, like as a kid gets older, right? Like I've taught in a middle school classroom. Like most of my experience is 5th through 8th grade.
Yes.
And when I tell you is that like I used to take boys to the movies every Tuesday. We used to go hoop in the gym. Like I've had like that affectionate side.
So then you could get.
And what I'm telling you is like when the Joker walks in and he's looking like, yo, Johnson, I ain't sitting down. Or I ain't doing this.
You're talking about teaching though.
I'm talking about teaching. But I'm saying, but this is the same discipline that would be similar to a kid.
Okay.
That is my own. Like,
but you never put your hands on them though.
I've squeezed the shit out of a couple of them hands.
Okay. All right.
Like at the sense, like yo, like you say, like good morning. But I think
if that's discipline, okay.
But I think
I'm squeezing hands too.
No. But I think like it doesn't like that's the respect that's being built
right
on the front end. It's not necessarily a discipline. It's like I'm not gonna have to go this far to put hands on you because you've already felt the respect and like yo, he's stronger than me. Like I know I can't beat up Johnson.
But the day that
the
reason why I disagree is because the day that is no longer apparent, he's gonna swing on you.
So I'm gonna tell you this,
and don't get caught slipping because if he catch your jaw, now you drop. Now you can't work there no more.
But that same talking about a time about
you gotta quit. And I literally had a colleague who quit because a student watched
you get washed
because there was no respect on the front end, right? And also, if you a 65-year-old man and your son decides to walk in and wash you at 30. Are you gonna say like, yo, I couldn't like yo the whoopings I gave him 30 years ago is why he washed me now?
Yeah.
he had you watched me 17 times.
17 times, like, no, bro.
Yo, it
that's
felt
not
good.
How it works.
If my brother watched this, they already know what time it is. It felt good when I got into that fight with my brother. Once I realized, like, oh, I can handle my own. Fuck what you talk about. I disagree, God.
Yeah, I think the potential, like, there's more that you could accomplish with another method. I think. I
don't know. Because they know until they don't know. But that's what this is about, you know what I mean? We agree to disagree.
But do your students respect you though?
Yes.
Okay.
Like middle school boys.
Yeah, I would say that. Every time I seen your kids, like they have the utmost respect. I don't think I've ever seen them disrespect you.
Like nah, and I've been disrespected plenty.
Oh, okay.
I've been disrespected plenty at work.
When he used to work at his old joint, he used to complain like these kids are crazy. And they used to cook you like whatever sneakers you were wearing.
Yeah, that's one of those.
Kids will go away. Yeah, kids will go away on me from time to time. But
time to time, all the time.
Yeah.
But like nah, like kids are very impressionable.
Yeah.
Right. At the middle school age, like I was even at one point like considered like the teacher who like the principal was like, yo, like every time I buy some new whatever gear, Johnson, you got to wear it before it drops, so that when I start giving it to kids, they feel like it's cool.
That's what's up.
You know what I'm saying? So like I definitely have had like my imprint has been made.
Yeah.
Right. And no, I've disciplined plenty without ever putting hands on a kid. Right. But the respect, you can only discipline when they feel respected by you. Like it only works if they feel respected by you.
And the only way you can be respected is by putting your hands on them, is what you're saying.
No, I'm saying I've never put my hands on a kid at my job.
So you're saying you can only discipline if you're respected. I disagree with that.
Yes, and if
I agree with that.
Without putting hands on
I just think there are different ways to
You respect the police? You respect the police?
No.
But they discipline us all the time.
It's not, but they shouldn't be. We're not to be disciplined by the police.
But they try to discipline us, right?
Yeah, but that's,
okay, let's go back into a family. As a kid, you probably respected your moms. I don't know. It's certain things that I ain't respect from certain family members. My uncle, nigga, you whack. Why are you trying to discipline me?
You whack.
like I'm just saying, like I just don't agree that you have to respect the person in order to be disciplined.
But what was like his style? And let's talk about
it was all physical.
And that's why it doesn't work. Because he wasn't respected. That's why the physical didn't work. Because your brother wasn't respected.
No,
that's
not my
why
brother. I respected my brother.
No. But I mean, like,
and as I got older.
But once you beat him up, his respect is now shot.
Who said I beat him up? Nah, I didn't win.
Yeah. but that's what I'm saying. It's like that is why those things, like once once
But wait,
you
wait.
will no longer respect it.
But that's what I'm saying to you.
Yeah, that I'm saying.
Once that kid no longer fears you,
but
it's
that's what
washing
I'm saying
time.
is you have to be respected.
Washing time.
I'm sorry. I'm just saying, God, the kids are big.
So, but what about like discipline styles?
Right.
You know, you have, and we talked about this a second ago. Like maybe your wife or your baby mom's has a style.
Yeah.
And you have a different style. So like, what do you think is a more effective style? And what do you think is as a tendency of a mom when it comes to disciplining versus like a dad?
Because moms are stereotypically more nurturing. I'll just do air quotes with that. It's almost expected that the mom is going to be the one to like cradle the child. And so people would say like moms are more softer or more soft. I disagree. I had a lot of hard women around. Yeah, my mom was washing.
My grandmother, my mom, it was fucking shit up.
I see my sister wash her son. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like,
yo, it was to the point where like when I knew I was gonna get an ass whooping, like this is when I was young. I used to hide under the bed.
Right.
And then like when I realized that my mom was like distracted, maybe taking a shower or some shit, I would crawl in the bed, covers over. I could see through the covers, but so I would see her open the door and I could see through the covers. So like, look at this pathetic little kid.
About to wash it.
No, she would leave me alone. She would leave me alone. But my point is like, my mom was not soft. Like I used to hide under the fucking bed.
Right.
That was crazy because Miss T is little.
Yeah, but see, you see my mom. My mom is not big, like. But my mom, yo, she doesn't do a lot of talking. She's one of them moms that like you come in the store, you do some dumb shit. She's gonna be like, okay, like no other words. Like, oh, you touch it.
That's
scary.
all
right.
That's scary.
And then I'm in the crib and it's like.
So do y'all think that's a myth? Like
it's
moms and dads
because
there
are moms who
are passive. Like wait till your father gets home.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure
Shorty last week she was like, yo, mommy. Last episode she was like, daddy gets the big chicken and wait till your dad get home. Remember that?
I do remember that.
Yeah. So shouts out to you.
We need a whole episode on who gets the biggest chicken.
Right.
I love that conversation.
I need that.
It's so dumb. But
I need that chicken though. I don't know. We touched on the other thing about like having like styles and tying together and shit like that. Mm-hmm. So I think we all agree on that. Like, are there any examples of a successful relationship with two totally different parenting styles? Like,
it has to be.
That's something I would like want to find out.
I mean, but even if you have two different parenting styles, you got to negotiate that.
Yeah. Wait, so you're African and you was talking about like the whole like, yo, like once you got to a certain size, mom not dealing with you no more. Now it's uncle. Mm-hmm. Like, so would you be okay with like family members? Yeah, like or like leaving your kids with other.
That's a good question.
Not even just family members, like neighbors. Like, yo, what if your neighbor want to discipline your kid?
No.
So you gonna allow your kid to wreak havoc or?
No.
Did you wreak havoc as a kid when you were like going to other people?
So because I'm African, I can say that it was a community like ass whooping thing. Yeah. like if you were close enough to my family to be called like uncle or aunt, it was lit for you. Like you know what I'm saying? Like that there was a potential that you could whoop me, but I wouldn't want that. Like let me handle my own child. Like when it comes to physical.
But what if the kid's spending the night like at like?
Don't touch my kid.
Yeah.
Don't touch my kid. If you family, maybe, but you saying even beyond family.
Yeah, like what if you want to stay at Timmy's house for the weekend? And Timmy's dad, Brad.
Like let's say hypothetically
beats your kid.
Like what if y'all pull your hands on my kids? Maybe that's different.
I'm washing your kids. No, I'm just joking.
Like I feel like it would depend. Like it's not automatic. Like Uncle X, Y, and Z.
You're too big, too strong. Don't be hitting kids, man.
Yeah, don't hit kids, man. If we could avoid hitting kids, let's do that.
Big facts. What about Z? He's silent. I don't know. Z's like, nah, I'm trying to wash.
You see the rage in his eyes?
Nah. Like I would want someone else to discipline my kid. Put hands on them. No, like you don't got to beat them to discipline. And I think that's like the only form of discipline y'all even talk about.
That is true.
No.
We are focusing heavily on physical.
Yeah.
Are you gonna beat them or not beat them?
I mean, but that's what we think of when we say discipline.
But I was also
that's the point is that
I was also disciplined. I remember one time my sister she like made me hold books and had me get in a squat position. And yo, once that lactic acid built up and I was all like burning on something.
You know what
in
this
my
sounds
arms,
like?
Yo, that shit was crazy,
Abuse.
God. Like
No,
pleasure.
you know what it
It's
sounds
like
like?
pleasure,
Yes,
bro.
it sounds
Come
like
on. Like
pleasure.
abuse. Well, yeah, some people were abused online, but that's a whole nother yeah.
And not my
But yo,
type
that
of-
shit was crazy. That was insane to me.
Yeah,
Like,
it was.
and I was just like, damn, maybe I'll do something like that. I don't know. Like, yo, get into the plank position, something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, spit your ABCs. Nah.
Like if something happens, like if I have a kid and they're at one of your homes and y'all have kids and they over there playing and my kid tears something up, like I would expect y'all to be like, yo, sit down.
Right.
Like
And that's fine.
don't touch nothing.
Yeah.
Don't breathe. I'm gonna have Z's on the phone in a second.
Right.
Like
Facts.
don't touch nothing. And I hope like honestly like for another person to even like have to like talk sternly or raise their voice on my kid should spook my kid enough. They should be like, yo, I did something bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a wrap. If they feel like yo, shut up after that, like
Yo, shut up.
now it's time to. I mean, y'all are laughing.
If a
like,
kid
I've
tell
seen
me
kids-
shut up, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
I had
I'ma walk
a
away
sixth
probably,
grade
like,
boy look me in my eye. You a bitch ass teacher.
Oh damn,
You a bitch. This close to my face. As far as we are right now.
that is wild.
What'd you
Like
do?
a kid coming out his mouth and saying anything is not far fetched. Not like something that's like would never happen. Like it's a regular thing. Like that's off topic. As far as discipline goes, like I would definitely expect y'all like, and if he got up, if y'all put your arm up like, nah, don't move.
Yeah,
and he was like, nah, I would expect you to be like, nah, sit down.
Yeah.
Like, yes.
Right.
But for y'all to start like wailing
With a
on him,
belt, yeah,
like,
that's different.
Nah, like that's no, but for there to be some discipline, like I would hope that the people, the company that I keep, I can trust enough
Yeah.
with my kid without feeling
That's another
like,
thing too. Yeah.
like they're not going to be out here wilding. And I would expect like your first time being here wouldn't be with the kid without me. Like I wouldn't drop my kid off like, yo, peace. Like
You gotta
hopefully,
set
like,
the tone. Like,
yeah.
yeah.
Like, and for you, if you would see me like, yo, sit down. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think you would like mirror that essentially.
Yeah.
Like when I wasn't there.
Facts.
Like if something would have happened, like even my dad used to be like, yo, if this is Syracuse.
Oh, the corona.
But he would be like, yo, if you were on this side of town, like I have friends who live in these areas.
Yeah.
Like I need you to go to one of their homes if something jumps off and you over here.
Right.
Like that would be the expectation of you.
And you had a good dad, man. That
But I think that would go along with like that would be like a different form of discipline.
Yeah.
Like I hopefully I can discipline my kid enough to know like when something wild jumps off and they're on this side of town, he can go here and be safe.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, I think it's a good time to open it to the questions.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, cool. We back. So yo, we decided to switch it up this time, and we do like questions at the end. You know what I mean? So we're gonna see how this goes. But we got an anonymous question from Anonymous, and that's the first and last name if you didn't know. But like the question was, does fear and respect come together when you're young, or does the child resent you?
I think there's a lot of resentment.
I think. Go ahead, my friend.
I think there's resentment with fear, not with respect.
But you definitely said you wanted them to fear you.
Yes.
I do want a little bit of fear in there as well. But I think like for a kid to only fear me is not going to be a healthy child. But for a kid to have a little bit of fear and a lot of respect, I think they go together. I think like, yo, I respect so and so, and I know dad will wash me. Like I got respect for that, and he'll bust my shit.
But the thing about fear and respect, right, is that the respect comes first, and fear should never be mixed in with that.
Right.
Because the thing about a child is that they respect you to where they don't want to let you down. Right.
Right.
They don't want to make you disappointed in them. They want to say, you know,
And this
what?
is coming from a mom, guys.
Yes, mom of a 12-year-old.
Right.
She'll be 13 in June. But yes, it's one of those things where my daughter, like, if I'm like, man, that disappoints me. Like she feels it in that sense, not, oh, if I get home and like she recently broke her phone for the umpteenth time. And
like mama, like daughter. Nah, fuck with you.
Don't do that.
I hope you ain't disciplined her for that.
So no, it was one of those things where she was afraid because she was like, I know my mother spends money on me. She goes to work and she does all these things for me. I can't believe I broke my phone. I was irresponsible. She's crying and she's all upset. And I'm just like, baby, you know, it's good. Yeah. Just because she wasn't being irresponsible with it.
Right.
And that's what it is. She was afraid to let me down. She wasn't like, I'm going to get home. My mom's going to knock my head off. Like, that's not what it should be.
Yeah.
But there should be a sense of respect to where the child is like, I fear that this person is going to be disappointed in me. Yeah. Not that I'm going to come home and they're going to, you know, tear me down. But there's so many moments and so many opportunities when you have kids and when you work with kids to affect change. And these things where we say kids act bad, it's not every moment of every day.
I think a kid is just being a kid. I think a kid is just being a kid.
They're also being taught, like kids are being raised to be actual adults. You teach them like their ABCs. You also need to teach them that when they cross in front of someone, right, that they say, excuse me.
Yeah.
Some people say, my daughter says, yes, ma'am, yes, sir. Some people don't feel like that's too far, but it's what I believe is a showing of respect. And that's what you're teaching your child. It's all about teaching them how to be an actual human. And I think that sometimes as adults, we do have to talk about how we get frustrated.
Right.
Can you imagine pouring into a child and them doing something like you get frustrated? And I think that when you beat a child down physically, mentally, spiritually, whatever it is, that is about you.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm so upset with you, and you have to take yourself out of it. I remember when I would get spanked as a kid, they had to take a break before spanking me, because when you spank a child in anger, that's when it turns and sometimes can cross that line.
Right. For me to answer the question, does fear and respect come together when you're young, or does the kid resent you? I actually just thought about a certain experience that happened with my friend Momo. Momo mom was calling him out the window, and Momo mom used to beat his ass. Like, Momo mom beat his ass, and it got to the point where we ran up to Momo. We was like, yo, Momo, your mom looking for you. And he was like, oh my God, my mom. And he started crying and vomiting. Literally. Momo was like 11, 12. We was like 13, 14. And we're laughing. But now, like, as a grown adult, I can only imagine the type of ass.
He was getting wrecked.
Yo, Momo was getting washed. Like, for a fact, Momo was getting washed. So to answer the question, like, I don't think that they like need to be like together. You know what I mean? Like, does fear and respect come together? No, I don't think they coincide. I just think that respect should be there.
And how do you even distinguish between the two? Like, if your kid is shook of you,
that's straight up fear. I don't agree with that.
I mean, but somebody will take that as, oh, they're being obedient, they must respect me.
Yeah, nah, no way. But should. you agree with a little fear. So I want to hear that one more time.
I want a little bit of fear.
Hold on, we gotta. Okay, what's up?
Do you respect the police?
No.
Do you fear the police?
No.
Fellas?
I respect and fear the police.
Yeah, like I feel like I kind of fear the police.
Off the rip, you don't respect them.
No, I didn't say I respected them, but I do understand her question.
Just off of everything that transpired between the black community and the police, we don't have respect for them. Right. Like, that's not.
So it also depends on how you're raised. I was raised military.
So that's different.
Fear that some black people have, I definitely don't have, because we had MPs. The MPs were seen as protectors. Mm-hmm. I didn't understand black people and the police and their fear until I went to college and saw how black men were treated. And I was like, oh,
right.
So now I get it, because I wasn't raised that way.
Right. I don't know. It's like my whole. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna ask, are your parents, one of your parents, a MP? Like,
oh no, my dad's a chaplain. He's a preacher in the Army.
Oh, that's dope.
All right. Well, yeah. I just personally, I don't think, when I think about the police, I mean, I fear them a little bit. I feel I resent, or I'm a little nervous about like interacting with them.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, damn, I actually got to talk.
I try to play it cool as possible, just so, you know what I mean. Like, I don't want none of those issues.
I think there's fear and respect. Like, I think there's respect off the sense of it's an authority figure. Right? Like, there's an automatic respect for authority, right? And then there's a little fear because you never know what could happen.
Yeah, because like when I think about how my mom talked to me about the police, she told me to respect them, but not because, like, you know, this is an authority figure, you should do the right thing and listen to what they say, but because, yo, you got to make it home.
Right.
Like, I don't want you being hurt by the cops. Or...
See, that wasn't being told. Like, we saw it and we knew what time it was, but like, that wasn't really being told when I was growing up. Now I can see that being told, like, yo, you want to make it home because cops out here are wilding. But
you don't remember wasn't there like police brutality stuff in New York when we were growing up?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I've had my run-ins with the cops, but I was never told like, yo, you gotta respect them. It was actually like disrespect. Like cops would drive by, cops would walk by, fuck you, all
But
that
that's
crazy.
like your people.
Peers,
What about
yeah,
what about
yeah.
your folks though, like your family?
Nobody ever had. I didn't get those talks. I didn't get a lot of talks.
I had like dare. I didn't have dare officer.
Hell yeah,
We had dare, but nobody was signing up for that.
But I mean, like, dare came to my classroom and spoke.
Oh
yeah, but I mean,
but all I'm saying is like when I saw the dare officer, I wasn't like, yo, he's about to get me. It was like you gotta respect the cops who are here.
I mean, that's in the context of being in a classroom. Like, what about
I'm talking about on the streets.
In the streets, like
he wasn't in the streets.
My first introduction to the cops was there.
So you've always been cool with the cops,
like. So I could say like my first time being pulled over, I was in middle school. Actually, and I was a freshman. I was riding with a buddy of mine who had a car, and they pull up, got us, whatever. But I think even that same token, there was a respect and a fear thing.
Oh, question.
Who was brought up in New York?
Me.
Okay, great. So
The city, but you know what I mean.
Bloomberg, stop and frisk.
Yeah,
That's a really good question.
that's actually
Who
a
was
good one.
affected by it in this room?
Me.
I've got stopped and frisked. Yeah.
Stop and frisk in New York.
Yeah, it was crazy one time for me. I was coming from the Chinese food Chinese restaurant, and I put like in the hood, like you don't want to share, so you put your food away. Put my food in the bag. I'm walking in my book bag. Cop literally pull up, hands on your head. I'm like, yo, what the fuck?
Same thing happened to me.
I showed them my shit, kept it pushing. You know what I mean? Like I was like, I ain't got nothing, but you know what I mean? That's fucked up, but.
So you still after that had that fuck you mentality?
Yo, they don't exist in my head. Like I know that sounds crazy as fuck, and y'all looking at me, you could do that. Like obviously they exist, but like when I see them, like I literally, unless I'm interacting with them.
But you and I have had
that running, and I was cool.
Yeah, like
because they don't exist in my mind.
I was like, yo, that was a crazy experience.
We were stopped and profiled, and we had to wait until the person who had whatever issue come by, and I was like, yo,
ideas. And I'm sure we could have sued the shit out of them.
Yeah,
like,
I'm just like, yo, as long as like you're not putting your hands on me, like I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna be all right. You know what I mean? You don't exist to me.
So based on your experience, how would you then send that message to your children?
Me personally?
Yeah.
All right. So based on my experience, I'm gonna say as long as you're in the right, as long as you're not doing anything wrong, you got nothing to worry about, and you need to conduct yourself accordingly.
Is that true though? That sounds like a dangerous.
Yeah, no, it's very. To be honest, it's very dangerous. Maybe I was just one of the lucky ones. You know what I mean? Like,
your kid gonna be talking smack.
But there should also be a way that you interact with them.
Yeah, like it should not be. You should not be operating from a point of like I'm afraid of you and you're gonna discipline me. It should be a casual conversation.
But it's a respectful thing too.
Yeah, but there's also like But people always say like, oh, when you interact with the cops, just do everything they say. Like,
nope.
You're assuming that I'm just supposed to be scared of a cop. Why I got to be scared of the cop for?
Exactly.
That winds up being how the dynamic, but it shouldn't be like that.
Facts.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
I think that we sometimes think that we are protecting children when we need to give them the real. Like we need to tell them about the past, what is actually present and future, and how to, like, if you're talking to the kids, like, okay, so the reason why is because most recently we've been seeing a lot of videos because now we're capturing it, like Rodney King. I feel like that was the first kind of,
that was crazy,
like prolific image of like a black man being beaten by a group of white cops, right, in a public place. And I think that you give those messages to children, you have to very young, because they have a capacity to understand.
Yeah.
To where it's like, okay, well, the reason why I need to be respectful is because of what could happen to me.
Yeah.
Not that I'm gonna lay down and do whatever they say because I have rights, but also I need to be a little more cautious because of how they feel about me, about implicit bias and how they view me as a black person. Not about me doing wrong. Right. Because even me, like, I feel like I see the police and I'm just like, okay, let me just make sure that, like you said, I'm not making these swift movements because I know what my skin does to them, right? Yeah, yeah. And I think that message has to be given to kids, not like respect every adult and respect, tell them the truth. Like, you know, I feel like that information needs to be given to kids in a way that you understand now. Like, don't give your kids what you thought when you were younger. Right. Give them what you know now. Like, now that you have experienced life, give them what you've experienced because that's what you want them to have.
That's a good point.
Yeah, what was that other question?
That's a good point.
What was that other question?
Therapy? Therapy.
Oh, yeah,
well, I will say, you guys talked about discipline earlier, and I know for a fact me and my brother were disciplined differently.
Yeah.
To the point where he's even said thank you to my mom for whipping that ass.
Yeah.
Because he needed that as a kid. Me, all my mom had to do was look at me and I would start crying. So you have to base it based off of that child.
Right.
But also my household, my brother got more freedom than I did because I'm a girl. Even though I was the good child.
Yeah.
He got...
Find that hard to believe. No, I'm just kidding.
Now
let's
keep it a stack.
Right.
I find that hard to believe.
Big facts.
Y'all so disrespectful.
I don't know. And then another question that we got from Anonymous was about like therapy and stuff like that. But I can't quite remember how it was like correlated into all of this stuff.
Well, I mean, one way I could tie it in is rather than resorting to violence. Let's say, I mean, and I keep doing this, but there are multiple different ways to discipline a kid. But let's just think about the physical.
Right.
Instead of doing that, you could, and emotional. And I guess like the alternative to that is to say like, let's go to therapy. Let's talk through these different issues.
Yeah. Like I know I'm looking for a therapist now. The person that I first found that I thought I was going to get up in Silver Spring, she doesn't take my insurance. So now I just sent the email to another person the other day and waiting to hear back. So I'm on the hunt, bro. I'm trying to recorrect the bad.
Shout out to Black mental health,
bro. Yeah, like I'm trying. You know what I mean? So that we could correct some of the things. But what were you about to say?
But I think that's what it is. It's us knowing better, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And so now we're raising a generation of kids that are not as messed up as we ended up being. And I think that mental health is something that shouldn't be a big deal. Because it's easy not. That's the thing about it when it comes to kids. It's easy not to traumatize kids and make their lives a living hell.
Right.
Like it's easy to do that. I mean, it's easy not to do that, right?
Right.
So I think that we just need to raise our kids differently. Like but that's what it's supposed to be. All the flaws that you're like, man, I don't like it when my parents did this. I don't like it when they did that, because that mental abuse, right, is very significant.
Right.
Let me ask you this: do you think? So you're saying it's hard to traumatize your kid, basically?
Nah.
But do you think?
That's not what she said.
It's hard. It's hard to keep. It's not hard to keep them safe, to love them, to pour into them.
Right.
Like, you think of these little moments that you have with your kid out of billions of moments you have with them. And yes, I might have to get stern and strict, but like it's coming from a place of love. Like you knew, like when you said that. You used to get in trouble with your mom and stuff like that, but I didn't think that I was abused. Yeah. Exactly, because you see it now as like, okay, I deserve, like Isaiah said, I deserve that one. Oh, I definitely deserve that one. But I mean, in Tully's case, I feel like it's more like,
some of that
I don't even remember because it happened so often. Like in that instance, the line was crossed, and it's different for every kid, but it's all about who they are. You are creating a person who also has their own path that they have to take. And I think that it's like a hands-on, hands-off.
Yeah.
Hands on, hands off.
Yo, fucking great talk, man. Yo, clap it up, bro. Like that was really good, man.
What are we on to next week? What's the next week?
Yo, so next week we got a few possible things that we're gonna talk about. We're gonna potentially talk about why so savage. Savagery is like trending, like in education and politics, all of that, and business. Like, why is it almost cool to like go against the norm? We possibly might talk about that. We might talk about what? Pandering? Mm-hmm. Yeah, pandering.
We can't talk about savagery without talking about Trump.
Big facts, because he like super savage. And then like unpopular opinions, you know what I mean? And Black Every Month, like Black Everything Month, instead of just one.
Women's History Month,
you know what I mean?
Month.
Yeah, right.
And it was Women's History
Month. But we'll start with Black first, though.
We'll
start with Black first, though.
That's what I said.
Yeah, it was Women's History Month. Yeah, someone in the crowd was talking about some fucking
bugging out
Women's Month.
Right.
But yo, on that note, we want to thank you guys for stopping by and being a part of this conversation. We really appreciate it. If you're listening to this on, the podcast directories, Google, Apple, Spotify, all of that, please share it with your friends. We really appreciate that. We growing. We love it. And then if you're
Are we
listening,
gonna ask them questions about the for the upcoming topics? Are we gonna?
Yeah, we're gonna send that out. Yeah, we're gonna get better with it. Yeah, my bad. I didn't do
I'm
it.
just asking for the next one. Like we might be interactive with y'all.
Yeah, word. Another thing we gotta mention too, we have an IG and like we're trying to be more active on it. So definitely follow us at the pod with no name. One word, no spaces, no underscores. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And on that note, my name is Tully, and I'm here with my brother and my brother, Prince. And we are the pod with no name, and we are out. Oh yeah. Yeah, who the food at?